making guests feel welcome one home at a time. Hello again, gardeners. Let's talk about something that is really, really real in your gardens, and that is pests. Now, I used to get irritated about all the pests until I realized everybody's dealing with their own version of pests. And those pests can be animal or insect. So let's start with animal. I live in the woods. I live on the edge of a valley. And so I have all kinds of wonderful wildlife that I love. We have deer, turkey, we have the naughty squirrels and chipmunks, we have bunnies, we have all kinds of birds, which I actually lure to the house with a bird buffet. But I don't always want them in my flower beds. I'm happy to see them scampering through the yard, but when I don't want them in my beds, digging holes, digging up things I just planted, pulling things out of the ground, eating the roots, I have a way around that. And my very favorite thing is repels all. And it truly does repel all. So you want to be careful that you don't put this where you do want birds. Like I don't put it around the bird feeder, because I actually want my birds to be at the bird feeder. And I'm careful where I put it in the woods. It is stinky, but does it work 100% all the time? No. When I combine it with Milorganite, which is right here, the combination of these two does the trick. This is a nitrogen fertilizer, and it's slow release. That means that it's feeding for you whilst repelling the things you don't want.
Wow.
So this combination will usually do it. But if that is not going to work specific enough for you, you can get a deer and rabbit repellent. This is called liquid fence, and it does work. Now you have to spray it on, which means that it only lasts for a certain time, then it rains, and then you have to reapply. But that's true for anything you do. Any fertilizer, any spray, any pellet you put down is going to dissolve with water, and then you'll have to reapply. So I've used that. There's also Critter Ritter. This lasts up to 30 days. How do I know? It's right on the label. And it says repels armadillos, which, hello, we actually get here, Zone 7B, Nashville. Can you believe it? Armadillos, yep. It does repel birds, so you want to be careful. Cats, chipmunks, deer, dogs, groundhogs, rabbits, raccoons, shrews, skunks, squirrels, moles, porcupines, voles. Now, if that were really true, I would be spraying this stuff everywhere, but it's kind of moderately true, and part of it is probably user error, that I'm not spraying often enough. So you can also tell I got this for $3 at an estate sale. When you go to an estate sale, go right to the garden area and get anything like this you can find, because it's going to be a much lower price. So this is for pests of the animal kind, but what about pests on your flowering shrubs and trees? Well, I have something different for that, and that is specific to what I'm doing. So this is my very favorite thing for my roses. When we did a fertilizing show, I talked about this. It is a fertilizer and a systemic bug repellent. You can also get it in a liquid form, and I have used this too on the actual roses. After dark, when the bees have gone to bed, when the beneficials have gone to bed, I will spray for this. These two things work particularly good for the hideous, horrid, burn in hell
Language.
beetles that get the roses and destroy them. And you've seen them, they're the Japanese beetles. They're beautiful, they are beautiful, but they can wipe out an entire crop of field crop in one night. So you want to spray and get rid of them. We'll talk about that another time because it's highly controversial, you know, how people get rid of these, but I use these. Now, I also use Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew. This is organic and it is a beautiful thing. You can get it ready to use, it says right here on here. It kills bagworms, borers, beetles, and those are in white because that's what you're going to see the most of. But also caterpillars, coating moth, have no idea what that is, gypsy moth, loopers, leaf miners, spider mice, tent caterpillars, thrips. and more. This is beautiful stuff. I can't keep this in stock enough. You can also get it in a concentrate and make your own liquid, which is what I do. When this has run out, I make my own. Same bug repellent, same helper. You can make your own, and it's probably more affordable like this. Again, look at estate sales. You're going to find all kinds of stuff like this. Then let's talk about slugs and snail bait. If you have hostas, if you have tender-leafed vegetables, if you have tender-leafed flowering plants that slugs and snails love to chew on after it rains and they come out of the ground, this is what you want. This is pelletized, meaning that it's little white pellets. I'm going to show you what it looks like. And all you do is toss it around your plants. So let's go do that. Here we are in the moon garden. This is where I have most of my shade-loving, deep shade-loving plants because it only gets morning sun. And so I have a lot of hostas in here. So what you do is you take your slug and snail bait and you put it, this one's in a pot. I'm putting it down in the pot. I'm also putting it right in the throat of the leaves where the snails like to show up. And then literally, watch this folks, woo! I just toss it in there and let it land where it may all around the leaves of my hostas. Now I have a lot of hostas. Some of them are from my mother in Michigan, so I really don't want those to be eaten up. This is the big mama back here, and so it gets a big handful. Anywhere I have a hosta, I am going to throw this slug bait, and I'm throwing it today because it's going to rain this week and I want to make sure it gets in there. And really, it doesn't have to be specific. You don't have to get in there and just, you know, oh, no, just toss it. It's going to do what it wants to do anyway. I like to get it off the main part of the leaf, but keep it in the throat and you won't get holes in your hostas. Now I've already thrown this once and I really don't see any damage. It absolutely works. You don't have to get this brand. This is garden safe, it says. There are other ones. Corey's is one I've used before. Just get what you think will work best in your garden. But the point is, put it down regularly or you will see your beautiful hostas eaten up in one night. Don't do that. Take care of it instead.
Come on over. Now go make someone feel special today.